So I'm gonna make a video here, and I don't even have words. Just the format of everything. I love the mess of being a human. It's yeah. I'm just in bed with my Stitch and my Spider-Man, courtesy of my partner. Um, it matters who you have around you, an environment, and social gatherings. But what I want to get the root at is like I have been at my lowest recently, my most vulnerable, and then I've also been able to receive the most that I've ever received. So we have been programmed from an early age to go against our human nature, against anger, against natural pleasures of childhood, of whatever you enjoy, creative pursuits, thinking for yourself, health, career path, with not even understanding how we work psychologically as humans, even how money operates in the world. In a sense of it's just energy. So the more joy and fulfillment and love and happiness that we have in our lives, the more we can receive, and not just abundance in a financial sense, but an abundance in family and friends and home. That's where it actually matters the most, and then the rest will figure itself out. Yeah, we can complain all we want all day about how we don't have enough, but then we're just going to be attracting how we still don't have enough. And even the people that walk in a spiritual identity, it's still just an identity. Until I think it's an absolute practice of just clear thinking, of seeing something and observing it as it is, not something bad or good. Even people, and that takes time, even for me, because we operate as humans sometimes in these victimized circumstances and stories of our inadequacies, of that person did this and I did that and I said this and they said that, and this is how the battle, the conversation, the circumstance ended, and that's why I am the way I am today. Like that that can't be. It can't be the absolute truth. And sometimes, people are abused, and it is just wrong. It is just unfair. It is just like, wow, that person has really gone through it. And yes, we do suffer. We go through things. Like it's part of it. But for us to regret every single decision and choice that we make along the way, I'm speaking from experience. I've been kicking myself when I'm down more than I've been lifting myself up, and not even for my own uh, intention. It doesn't matter what your intention is sometimes. It's in the way that the action is manifested and understood. And so being able to watch videos or listen to somebody speaking from truth online, I'm not even talking about myself here, it can be anyone, but to provide real value is to be of service to nature. I mean, come on, like we are obsessed with consumerism. We can never get enough, whether you're American, Japanese, Korean, from Europe. Like, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. We have been monopolized because of the companies and industries that run as just these huge conglomerates and corporate entities that feed off of our desire. Our desire is not bad. If you want something, let's just say that we want that. If you're fighting an addiction and you say I want to get out of this addiction, then it's hypocrisy. Because there's some part of you inside the shadow aspect of yourself that is enjoying exactly what it is that you're in. And you need to see that as it is, not trying to cover it up. Because we shame and guilt ourselves for the way that society views us and sees us as we are. We think that it's wrong, so we try to cover it up and put on these facades, and then we actually end up embodying the lie that we've told ourselves. Wow, like it's a breath of fresh air even for me, because when you've been in such a murky water of just troubled circumstances, and for me, I've been growing through spiritual awakenings, or at least ideas of them, and then the real things since my adolescence. And we say, oh no, that's bad, or oh no, that's good, or oh, if I do this action, it's gonna tear me away from my kundalini, and oh no, it's gonna be unethical, and even then the mind automatically, if anybody hears that, judgment manifests automatically. And so we create ties, emotional attachments with thoughts as if they're people, places, and things, like real tangible things. And then they actually present themselves in our reality because we believe in them. Not light or dark, not good or bad, but heaven and hell are the same. Like they are bound as one, it's not separate. And so ego and the God complex, or ego and an idea of self, are one and the same. That's duality. And so as we learn to accept, hey, this is just something that I enjoy. Hey, I've dealt with this addiction, and you know what? Instead of trying to act like I don't enjoy it and act like it's the bad thing to do for me because of my conditioning, addiction only forms out of knowing that we're doing something that we're not supposed to because guilt and shame was instilled in us at an earlier age. That's it. It's as simple as that. And so unless we see the pattern for what it is, and we just continue seeing it for the way that people have told us that it is, and how things should be because of somebody's bias or the world's view, and the world is also a concept itself, different for every single expression of human consciousness that ever exists and lives, then we'll never be able to tap into the truth of our reality. And what we have to see as well is, like, this is for a reason, like, it's not our mistake for not automatically knowing that. That's why we're alive. That's why we've come to become human. And so, I've always craved the messy, unexplained creative expression that us as individuals can create and derive from reality. That's our truth. Like, our truth has to just be that, yeah, I deal with this, and this is something that I have to stop pushing down and creating a demon out of, demonizing our actions, our thoughts, our desires. Like, our lives become hell under the most heavenly of circumstances, of fresh water, food, shelter, friends, family, pleasure, accessibility, ease, and access has turned us against our very nature of just accepting that I have these thoughts, but they don't actually have to derive me of my peace and also cause an emotional reaction in me, because we're reacting emotionally to that of which the expression itself is, in my interpretation, it's lingering. It's yet to be accessed to, and I'm still learning every single day. I'm listening more than I am trying to speak. I'm just like, you know what? I surrender. I give up. I'm gonna stop trying to figure it all out. I'm in a very much in between place in my life, and that's vulnerability speaking. I I'm just here. I am just here existing and doing my best to just receive myself. Stop pushing yourself back. Don't say that you love yourself and that love is unconditional, and then you look at your body and say, "Oh, I fucking hate that." And then you spit on yourself. And even if the physical body, this vessel, isn't our whole being, we live in it. We have to treat it as a friend. We are the caretaker of our bodies. And it's not our fault for feeling those guilt and shame, darker parts of ourselves when that's all we've been taught to do through karma. And so we have to learn ways to free the karma that has always expressed itself dormantly in stagnant energy. The only way to free that energy truly is to just see it for what it is. Stop trying to dress it up and put a name tag on it and give it, a W-2 form and fucking hire it. Because there are so many fucking people in this world that they don't do good, They know what they do out of the moral ambiguity of it is wrong, but because they don't hold guilt for it, and also because the universe is just built the way that it is, people do what they do and they can sleep at night. People can scam people and they're fine with it. People can, like that doesn't matter. And isn't it interesting that the only people that actually do end up gaining consciousness and awareness for the addictions, the actions, the so-called negativity, and the dormancy of sometimes stagnant everyday life, the only people that end up waking up from that are the ones that deep down want to. You wouldn't be conscious of your mental state of being if you, in some way, consciously speaking, decided to. It's a choice. It's a choice to say, okay, I see this, and I'm going to continue to see it in my reality until I fix it. Whether it's a soul contract before you're born or, I'm 22. Why the fuck should I know the answer? And neither should you. But I'm trying to just give examples to you here. Yeah, like we've been brainwashed from an early age. And it's not your fault, and it's not mine. And the more that we fear, the more we feed the system, the more that we feed the matrix. Does anybody realize, like, if you've been ever immersed in pop culture, if you are awake and alive in the 21st century, people have watched The Matrix. Neo only gets his power. He only unlocks his true power. People don't really realize this. When he says no. That's the only time in the first fucking film that he ever gains any full ability to what's inside of him. It didn't come up before that. He died before that happened. And so until you stand up in your own power as well, and it can be done in a subtle sense of creating boundaries. I'm stepping into a different topic here, and let's go. We've been conditioned that setting boundaries is the hardest thing, that we're stepping on the other person's feelings, that it's evil, that it's wrong, that it should be shamed and guilted for speaking up about how we feel. If somebody's staring at you in public, you can say, hey, sir, stop staring at me, please. You consciously gain awareness of it, you shine awareness on that for the other person to see it, and you address it and you let it go. But when we were taught that reacting to the emotion is bad, and part of the ego, or rather the shadow self, wants to say, the suppressed tendencies that have never had access to gaining light, and that's that anger, and you can feel it boiling that's underneath you, and you can feel it boiling, and you want to get to it. You say, oh, fuck it. And you push, just like a piston hits its mark in a fucking engine block, and it starts pumping extra numbers in PSI and horsepower. You go and spark, ignition, flame, fire. It can cook, it can burn. Your choice. Or both. And so, like, that's our weapon that we can use for us. And if it works for us, then it works for the collective. When we win, when I win, everybody wins. But we've been taught that only this is the pool of reality, and only a select few over here can actually win. The rest have to suffer and put up with the rest. And that's just the way that the world works. Money doesn't grow on trees. And like that collective thought that millions, billions, I'm sure, have been consumed in, like a whirlpool, just swimming around and consuming it. So what I want to get to here is just stop judging yourself so much. This is coming from somebody that has dealt with grief, loss, shame, guilt, fear, anxiety like a motherfucker, and self-insecurity and doubt from an early age like that. And an only child, okay? I'm telling you this through the vulnerability in my journey, and as I walk through the process of not even having a path anymore. Your dreams can come true. Things will work out. It will get better. Just keep going. These truths, I've been craving something within me. Please just show me the truth. Please just show me the truth. And my ego's like, you don't really want that. And these things keep coming up. I have to address myself. I have to keep facing myself. This anxiety, this fear, this anxiety, this fear. It's the fear to live for yourself, to free yourself, to accept yourself as you are. It's just our self concept that we've been rivaling with forever, toiling. Days are not days, it's the time clock that we've been invented upon. They are cycles. If you've been living in the same cycle for a long time, you have yet to break it, or at least break through it. There's no amount of time that's set in place that it has to be on. It just is. And the same thing with that is that days are cycles. Weeks, you could say weeks are like, I don't know, a 7 bullet chamber, or it's just a, it's a full cycle. I guess you could say it's it's a wheel. So you have 7 days, 7 cycles, 1 week, a wheel, a month, well, you've got a ride. And that's just my analogy and metaphor that I've personalized from things. These are all direct interpretations. If you think this is all just straight, just from original thought, no, I've had to stumble, fall, break my fucking legs, get back up, and keep going. This is wisdom that I'm unlocking again and saying, oh yeah, that's right. Fuck, no wonder I felt this way about this. No wonder I've been dealing with this and toiling with this. Things are revealed to you and you say, I really don't have to stress that much anymore. It is a choice. And I know things are going to get better, but I don't have to be desperate for the change. Instead of that, instead of staying stuck in this old and just, I'm stuck in the old, I want to be stuck in the old. No, I'm ready to go. I'm ready for change whenever it comes. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm ready for it. Come on, bring it to me. And until we're really ready, until we're really fucking ready for change, say that you're not. Don't be a hypocrite about it. I get it. Change is fucking scary. And the minute that you regret saying something about it is the moment that you're stepping back from yourself. You're putting all this other expectations that people have on you or ideas on a pedestal of how to get stuff done, of how to show up and look and, protect yourself. You don't have to be protected. You're already divinely protected. What's like a 1 in a trillion chances of being born? Even me standing up right now, I'm like, fuck, thank you. Spinal fusion surgery 1 year ago and a week to date. And, many losses, but so many wins. Guys, you only need one yes. And that's the yes that you give yourself. Once you give yourself that self-validation, if somebody tries to step on that, at least you can say, no, fuck you. I know who I am. You don't have control over me. And then healing can occur, not just for yourself, but if the other person wants to pick it up, that's their choice, not yours. Let it go. Just leave it. And if you've ever been a victim, so to speak, you're never a victim if you get to learn from it, okay? That's the truth. So if you can realize something in your past and you're aware that this person did this and it hurt, and okay, but how do you want to move on? How do you want to change and be different or perceive things differently so that that doesn't control you? See it as a gift, and that's hard. So talk to people. Surround yourself with good influence. You're not meant to figure it out overnight. Not in a week, not even in a month sometimes. But at least you are becoming insightful upon the very thing that is either causing you some kind of sensation, whether it be sadness or fear or any kind of pain. Have you realized that the most beautiful artwork is created out of, I'd say, something of capturing a moment? And just to show proof of that, I'm looking at a drawing that I made 2 years ago. And it's in reverse because the camera's facing me, but it does say it's only up from here. And it is. And once you create a friend within yourself, that's all this is about. Create a friend within yourself and free yourself from the nightmare that you have been conditioned into believing is the truth and live. That is the key to life, is you, loving you more. That is it. And once you love yourself more, you can really love the world more. You can really love everybody else more. But if you're not at peace with this, in truth, not trying to run from the emotions or become toxically positive or a false light identity within the aspect of a spiritual ego, and there's nothing wrong with those people. There's decisions, there's choices. That's it. Know yourself, love yourself, and know thyself. And you guys take care. Have a nice day.